Impacts of climate change. What happens to our Earth when the average temperature goes up? Before we look at various impacts, it will be interesting to see this slide, which plots weather-related disasters over time in the last century. There has been an exponential rise in the losses. So are we moving towards a more disaster-prone world? The impacts of the climate change can be as following. Extreme weather events like downpours and flash floods, cyclones, intense heat waves, droughts, glaciers melting, sea level rise, loss of biodiversity, health and well-being. These events are not limited by geographic boundaries and will be affecting our interconnected and interdependent world. Extreme weather events. One of the most talked about climate extreme event happened in Mumbai on July 26, 2005, when 94 centimeters of rain fell in 24 hours. Water levels reached 7 feet. The whole city was flooded. Death toll in Mumbai and surrounding area reached 1,000. In 24 hours, India's commercial capital was on its knees. July 2011. Thailand suffers one of the biggest floods in its history. 13.6 million people affected. Loss to economy $45 billion. 65 out of 76 provinces declared disaster hit. July 2010, Pakistan suffers one of the biggest floodings in its history. 20 million people affected. Loss to economy $43 billion. More than 20% of the country underwater. December 2010, serious flooding in Australia. 200,000 people affected. Australian GDP affected by $30 billion. 20 cities badly affected, including Brisbane. The IPCC report on weather-related disaster predicts more extreme events like this happening in the future with greater frequency and magnitude in the 21st century. IPCC SRX Report 2012. Cyclones. Oceans have been getting warmer in the last century, and this has increased the evaporation. It leads to more moisture in the air, which comes down as severe precipitation in case of storms and cyclones. Supercyclone Gonu was a Category 5 storm with wind speed reaching 240 km per hour. This is a rare phenomenon for Arabian Sea, known for smaller storms. Such high-intensity cyclones have not hit the Indian coast in the past. In April-May 2008, Cyclone Nargis was formed in the Bay of Bengal and became a Category 4 storm. It hits Myanmar, which suffers one of its worst weather-related disasters. 138,000 people dead officially. The toll could be higher. Millions displaced and affected. Loss to economy $10 billion. Supercyclone Sidr was formed in the Bay of Bengal and left Bangladesh and India reeling. Approximately 10,000 people lost their lives. 1.5 million people were evacuated to shelters and got saved. Loss to economy $2 billion. Paddy crop harvest totally devastated. It was the first time in 20 years that coastal Andhra Pradesh has faced a cyclone in May. Over 50,000 people were evacuated and 14 were reported dead. Several crops were damaged. No extreme event discussion can be over without discussing Hurricane Katrina of 2005. It was the costliest weather disaster in US history and probably in the world. More than 1,800 people lost their lives. Loss to economy was more than $100 billion. A grim reminder of the brute power of natural forces, which even a superpower could not contain.